Hello friends, Tom Downey here for NFL Daily on Chat Sports. Got some breaking news for you. Tyrann Mathieu has been released by the Arizona Cardinals, ending his time in Arizona. Now the question, of course, is where does Mathieu end up? We're going to take a look at some potential landing spots for the incredibly talented safety. The Cardinals have cut Mathieu for two main reasons. One, they're trying to save some cap space because they're paying Sam Bradford $20 million this year. The other thing for Arizona is Steve Wilks' defense, he comes over from Carolina, doesn't necessarily value safeties in the same way. So Arizona, in part because of an injury history with Mathieu, has parted ways. With that said about Tyrann, tell you what, there is going to be a ton of teams interested in signing him. You can list almost every NFL team. Here are some notable ones that just missed our top 5 list. First up is the Cleveland Browns. Now, they've got plenty of cap space. They could make sense there. They just missed out. The Cowboys would love to get Mathieu. The issue is they don't have a whole lot of cap space. Colts fall into that Browns category. They could use a player of Mathieu's talent. They have the cap space. Maybe he wants to go for a winner. The Saints would have made a little bit more sense, but they actually just signed Patrick Robinson to a 4-year deal, so there's some double bonus breaking news for you guys watching this video. And then there's the Pittsburgh Steelers, who would be a great fit for Mathieu, but they fall in the Cowboys category. Do they have the cap space available, knowing that they have $14 million allotted for Le'Veon Bell's franchise tag? So with those 5 teams out of the way, here are the top 5 landing spots for Tyrann Mathieu as we sit right now, knowing, of course, that much can and will change. The Carolina Panthers check in. They've got $18 million in cap space, and they certainly have a need at safety. You look at their safety group right now, it's an aging Mike Adams and a bunch of players that, you probably haven't really heard of if you're not a Panthers fan. The big question for Carolina, well, it's the cap space. Can they actually afford to bring in a guy like Mathieu? Now, Captain Munderland will man the slot, so Mathieu might play more safety, but, Bird's a free agent. He's not very good. Mathieu would instantly become the best safety, if not outright defensive back, on the Carolina Panthers roster. A team that I like next, I think is a really good fit, is the Houston Texans. Plenty of cap space, so they can easily afford Mathieu whatever contract he wants, and some of their top free agents are safeties, Eddie Pleasant and Marcus Gilchrist. They're also bringing back Andre Hall and Corey Moore. Houston in the past has tended to rotate safeties. They signed Aaron Colvin to go be their slot corner. But if you can get a guy like Mathieu and you have the cap space, why wouldn't you go do it? Plug him in as an every play safety for you if healthy. It'd be a big, big boost to the Houston Texans defense. 2 New York teams coming up next year. We start with the New York Football Giants. They are looking for a free safety / nickel guy. They were going to put Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie in that safety role. They cut him. Why not go get Tyrann Mathieu? And former Cardinals DC James Bettcher is now with the New York Giants. Think of this, a pairing of Landon Collins and Tyrann Mathieu at safety. Whew, that's one heck of a duo back there, and you've got Janoris Jenkins, and maybe you get Eli Apple back on track. That is a loaded secondary for the Giants. With that said, Dave Gettleman is now their GM. He hasn't always valued safeties in a very high fashion. Maybe this is an option for Mathieu, but I don't think it's the most likely as we go through these 5 teams here in alphabetical order. That brings us to the New York Jets. Maybe you're thinking, oh, they've got Jamal Adams and Marcus May. They don't need a safety. I think they would use Mathieu more as a slot corner. Former Cardinals DC Todd Bowles is the head coach for the New York Jets, and Jamal Adams has already been very active in recruiting and pursuing Mathieu to come join the Jets. They've already signed Tremaine Johnson. You put Mathieu in as that nickel back. He can play some linebacker as well in kind of various sets if the Jets really want to use 3 safeties and move Mathieu all over the field. I think it makes more sense than maybe you would originally think. Keep an eye on the Jets and Mathieu. I think it'd be a dynamic fit for the Jets, and Todd Bowles would know how to use him without a doubt. One more team for you guys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cap space, check. Need, check. They have Justin Evans. They need another safety because, well, maybe they'll finally stop playing Chris Conte if they get a guy like Mathieu. He can also play some slot corner for them. I think Mathieu and the Bucs is one of the more ideal fits of the teams that we've gone through here today. I don't know if it ends up happening. We've seen the Bucs be not quite as aggressive with their cap space as maybe some thought they were going to be this offseason. But I think Mathieu and the Bucs would be a fun fit, and it'd be a good fit for a Bucs team that needs more help on defense. So to recap, here are the top 5 landing spots for Tyrann Mathieu. The Carolina Panthers, the Houston Texans, the New York Jets, the New York Giants, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As I mentioned earlier, pretty much every team in the NFL is going to have some interest in Mathieu. I don't think it'll take long for him to have plenty of interest. Maybe he takes some visits and waits to sign, but I think you'll see Mathieu get a pretty sizable contract and a team be very happy to get a very talented safety that the Cardinals have released. Once again, folks, I'm Tom Downey. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. Subscribe to the channel for more NFL breaking news throughout the offseason.